Hi guys, it's Paul and Laura from Itris.
Welcome to episode 3 of The Corner.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to keep your work from home staff engaged with your business. As we all know, keeping your staff engaged is vital for your business. It gets them bought into your brand and helps with your company culture.
Engaged staff tend to perform better, generally because they care more.
There's various different opinions when it comes to working from home. I personally tend to prefer to work from the office. I like to separate my home life and my work life.
Yeah, I prefer to work from the office as well. I feel like I collab a lot better with my team. We bounce ideas off of each other and I feel quite lonely when I'm working from home.
Oh,
I know. Sad.
Obviously, you mentioned about collaborating with your team. I think that's such a key thing for me working from the office. Obviously, I have multiple teams to run here, so actually being around for them, is important for me. They don't necessarily need me around, but obviously if there's stuff they need to ask me, I feel like it's better doing that in person. Walking over to the desk, having that human interaction. But many people love working from home, so it's important to know how to keep them engaged. So I personally feel we may see a massive shift to office working again in 2022. With the rising cost of energy, more and more people are going to want to return to the office to take advantage of things like heating, electric, so they haven't got the cost themselves at home.
No, I'm coming in for the aircon.
Really?
It's so hot.
It's really hot today. We're filming in July, so yeah, aircon's been a massive hit over the last few days.
Keeping in touch with your staff working from home is so important. You can use things like Teams, like we use. You can use platforms like Zoom, Slack.
Yep.
It's really important to talk weekly, daily, just keeping in touch with them.
Yeah, some people use their CRMs for this as well. So at Itris, we offer our users a community hub where users can share applicants, jobs, managers can put team notifications on there, that kind of stuff. And a lot of our users have found that really helpful. I think it's really important to have both formal and informal types of communication as well. So obviously those regular catch-ups, one-to-ones and everything business related, but also be informal as well. And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Things like WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp's great. We often keep in contact as a team on WhatsApp, particularly if you're out and about, not in front of a computer. We do have other apps for stuff like that as well, but WhatsApp is just generally the go-to app that generally people use.
People don't text anymore.
No, unless it's through the system using fire text, of course.
Yeah.
As most of my team will know, I like to go old school and just pick up the phone to them sometimes. Quite often when I'm driving, obviously I can't use apps or anything like that, so a good phone call to have a catch up. That might be in the morning, afternoon. Sometimes I'll just surprise them.
I much prefer you calling me. I can't stand emailing. It takes too long. And I can't bother to type. Yeah,
it's very quicker just sometimes to have that conversation rather than emailing. So again, picking up the phone to them, like Bob Hoskins used to say in the old BT adverts.
It's good to talk.
So next up, team building activities. Now, lots of companies do team building activities. Obviously, back in the day, these always used to be face-to-face, build a raft, build a tower out of marshmallows and spaghetti, all of that kind of stuff for employee engagement and teamwork has always been really good. Obviously a bit harder when working from home, so we've seen some very creative things that people have been doing online. One thing we did was quizzes.
We did quizzes during lockdown.
Yeah.
We got each person to do a quiz each week. And then they present it, and everyone really enjoyed it. Actually, got involved, got their brains ticking. It was really good.
Yeah. Again, they come up with a topic, which I think is quite cool. So we saw these get better as time went on as well. So I think the first one was like someone just read off a Word document, a few bullet point questions that they had put together, and then next week it's sort of people were up in the game.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of it, we had big PowerPoint presentations and intro music rounds using YouTube clips and that kind of stuff. So really good. People really bought into it. It gave them something different to do as well. And I think if those guys are working from home, allowing them just that time to have a bit of fun with it. 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes to present a quiz at the end of the week is really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Good.
So another really important thing is workload. So making sure that you know what your team are getting up to. I know we use Microsoft Planner, and you can see exactly everything I need to design, everything that needs to be posted. Just gives you an idea of what I'm up to basically, and how much I've got on my desk.
Yeah, I think if you use a tool like Planner, or there are other tools out there, obviously, you know, it sort of takes away from that constant typing of chat. You know, it's rather than a new message from Paul, it's Paul scheduled you something in your calendar or something like that. So there's loads of tools out there, as I say, but, you know, keep on top of what people are doing. It's really very difficult if you've got loads of members of your team, but actually having that collaboration space is really important, particularly for those guys working from home and everyone managing their workload across the business.
It allows me to get everything off my mind onto something.
Yeah.
So then you know exactly what I've kind of got planned and what's going to go ahead.
Yeah, and I think the other important thing to remember there is be realistic.
Yeah.
You know, if you're assigning somebody a task, ensure they've got enough time to do it, they've got the tools that they need to do it. You know, there might be stuff you're assigning that they can't do from home. So, you know, have a look at exactly what you're assigning them. If it's things like KPI driven tasks as well, like phone calls or, you know, demos booked, CV sent, that kind of stuff. Again, ensure they've got access to the right systems and ensure you're being realistic with those targets. I'm not going to set one of my sales guys, you know, a whole day of cold calling because I know they'll find it boring and laborious. So, you know, break it up into sections. You know, it might be a morning of cold calling. Let's say 20, 30 calls is probably realistic. You know, don't go setting hundreds of calls because realistically they're not going to do it. Another great way to keep your staff engaged while working from home is to continue that encouragement of career development and personal progression.
Yeah, it's really important. Things like getting them to learn the CRM because they're using it every single day. Get them to learn how they can use it more efficiently, how they can get things done quicker. It can really, really benefit them. There might be CRMs that have got knowledge bases, they might have articles, videos, they might have an LMS. It's really important.
Yeah, I think particularly with new starters as well, you know, setting them some form of structure into learning your processes, your procedures, as well as your CRM, any other internal systems and stuff that you've got as well are really key. Another great thing to encourage in terms of career progression is actually being an expert in your field. So a lot of, you know, let's take a typical IT recruiter, they may be specializing in some form of development language, Python, Java, C#, that kind of stuff. Actually knowing the basics for when they're talking to clients and candidates is really key. So, you know, make sure they've got enough time, but make sure they also schedule that time to learn about their industry that they're working in.
Okay, so celebrating birthdays, work anniversaries. I know when I was working from home, Paul sent a card, he sent some flowers, and it made my day. It was so lovely. Like things like now, like you can't send a card around the office and get it signed.
No, those days are gone.
A lot of people are working from home.
Yeah, I think you know we still try to do that. We will get the majority of people to sign it, but it's not like the good old days where you sort of hide it in the diary and pass it around.
They always knew it was there though.
Yeah, the chances are the person whose birthday or anniversary it's not in the office anyway, so you can just freely hand it around for people to sign.
Yeah.
But obviously there's lots of websites available now. I won't mention any names, but they're all animal based, where you can arrange for these cards to, obviously you can design them and arrange for them to be delivered, and just have it from the business. You know, so you know, to Laura, we love you lots from Itris. You know, it makes that difference. So things like birthdays, anniversaries, and then, you know, celebrating the wins. So obviously deals is a massive one in recruitment, but things like new customer acquisitions, you know, KPIs being hit. Many recruitment agencies run targets and incentives. So, you know, ensuring people know what they are, particularly if they're working from home, how they can achieve them, and then celebrating those wins once those are hit. Now, earlier we talked about communication, and I think, you know, having that, again, as I said earlier, separation of formal and informal makes a massive difference when keeping people engaged. You know, try and be really personable. You know, ask about their family, you know, whether that's parents, wife, children, husbands, siblings, whatever it might be. You know, show them that you care, that you're actually interested in these topics, and also what they're doing in their personal life. You know, don't just talk about work, and don't just ask them, oh, what did you get up to? You know, try and show an interest in any hobbies that they've got, and then, you know, remember to cycle back to those. So quite a common one, probably the most commonly asked questions in our office is, what are you having for dinner, and what are you up to at the weekend?
That's normally what I ask.
Yeah, you know, when I ask these questions to my team, I always make a point to obviously remember what they're doing on the weekend. So that conversation Monday morning is then, how did you get on at your golf comp? How was your trip down the coast, which you did this weekend?
Yeah.
How was your mum's birthday? Rather than coming in on Monday saying, oh, what did you get up to the weekend? Someone's going to think, well, you asked me that on Friday. You obviously wasn't listening. So, trying to remember this stuff, trying to be as engaged with them as you can.
Also showing them that you care is asking them if they're comfortable with their setup. I know a lot of people will say, oh, my chair's a little bit uncomfortable. Sort something out for them. If they're using personal laptops, are they secure?
Yeah, really important to remember, particularly if people are, logging into their CRM, or they might be remoting onto shared drives in the office to access information, ensuring that device is secure with antivirus, ransomware, that kind of stuff. It might be worth running any devices by your IT company first, or if you're supplying those as a business, that's probably already happened. But yeah, that's a really good point.
I think as well with like new starters, it's so important. Like things having like a little welcome pack. I think that's really cute. Like a notepad, like branded notepad, branded pen with their laptop, or a water bottle, and just to show them again that they care. They're a new cup. Having that as when you start as a new person is vital, because it buys them in from day one.
Yeah, and particularly if they're starting life working from home, a lot of jobs we're seeing filled now are complete work from home roles. So they don't get to go into the office to meet their team from day one. So getting that brand sort of buy-in from day one with some cool merch, t-shirts, whatever it might be, whatever your business does. It might just be a pen, might be a coaster, might be anything like that. But yeah, that's a really good idea. So I think probably the last point in getting them engaged is, again, just that personable factor. And it's encouraging them to take regular breaks. Now, as a manager, that's a pretty difficult thing to want to deliver. Work less. But, what we find is encouraging the regular breaks, particularly exercise. If they can get out, go and have a 20-minute walk around the block, either as part of their lunch break or on top of that, really helps. Obviously, from a physical and mental health point of view, it's really important. And if they can get out in nature for sort of 20 minutes, and they can see that you're encouraging that, again, it just shows them that you care, and it will automatically get them more engaged with you as a manager or with the business as a whole.
I really found, like when I was working from home, going on that 20-minute walk around the block really helped me in the afternoon, because it allowed me to reset, getting away from my screen, because I wasn't getting away from my screen as much as I would if I was going over to my colleague's desk to look at something.
Yeah. So I used to say to you, Laura, have you been out today? No, I haven't yet. So get
your
ass outside, go for a walk. But I'm in something, I don't care, find some time. Again, just, you don't necessarily, we talked about scheduling work earlier, you don't necessarily have to schedule the time in their diaries to go and take that break. But just asking them, have you been outside today? Have you, did you go for a lot of our guys sort of go for walks in the morning actually before they start work, so it's a really good way to start the day. If you've got guys that are into their gym, into running, anything like that, again, part of that sort of asking them, showing an interest and actually encouraging it, that will really help with that engagement.
So guys, that's been our tips on how to keep your staff working from home engaged.
We hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for regular updates.
Thanks for watching.